Good morning, my neighbors. Welcome to another episode of Well, I went to the wrong camera first. The bloopers. Welcome to another episode of BYTTT. Before you take the trade, trading floor edition. Let me go ahead and let everybody know that I am online, and we're going to go ahead and go to the chart because we got a lot of stuff that we're going to cover. This is NQ, and NQ is putting in a lot of work. So there's going to be a whole lot of things that's happening here. But before I do that, let me just go ahead and make sure I let everybody know that I am online. I'm already logged into my accounts and everything. Just got to do the YouTube studio thingy, stuffy, blah, 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 and all that good stuff. I hope you had a great day so far. The market looks like it had a nice little dump off as it went ahead. Oh, and thank you very much. I got a few more subscribers. It's people like you that keeps me going. So I want to say thank you very much when it's all said and done. All right, so let me grab this link and send out my contact so that way people know I am online and I am live. All right, boom, get shareable, boom, boom, and let them know we are live. I've been typing that so wrong lately. I just realized that I was like, we live. I was, very hood like, but now I'm correcting myself. Anyways, moving on. So you can see with NQ, we had a nice little drop off, right? So we had a nice little curl over that happened over here, and it just kept on pushing, and then we had something around the morning that kind of held its base. I did take a little bit of that pullback and retracement, so that was a little bit fun to kind of toy with there. Let's go ahead and keep this party going. We got gold, oil. Oil, after that, the inventory report, you could see they really are trying to get into that block. We kind of plotted this out from the monthly, I think it was. I think it was the monthly. Might have been the monthly. Yep, from the monthly. So, yes, it is pushing back into that area, but they got a lot of work to do because today is the last day of the month. It still looks like a hammer where there's a lot of selling pressure inside of this order block. Even though that they held support around that 6706, which is our point of interest, I do think there is going to be one more attempt at going down that low. So just be very cautious and cognizant of your levels. And then this is gold. Gold 2800. It is rejecting, which I said it's a tough level at 2800, especially that we were super vertical, super vertical. So I'm looking for this thing to kind of like come back, retest this area. If it finds support, we might go for some highs. But if it does not hold this order block, I will not be surprised to touch back to this trend line between 2700 to maybe 2750 is probably a good area that it could go down to, then find a place for reversal. And don't forget to plot out your silver. Silver is retracing. It's in its order block. If it gives up this fair value gap, it will drag gold down with it. Here is the British pound. British pound, it is just consolidating until it broke this downward trend. We did not get the whole entire part of this fair value gap. So they probably was just resetting until they get to a nice little comfortable area on the oscillator. So I will not be surprised this thing takes out the rest and then bounce, and we might get our head and shoulders then. Here's ES. ES gave a nice low rejection off of 5900. I know a lot of people is looking at 6000. That's probably why we are pulling back the way we are. So we'll see what happens with ES. And then the Russell, it looks like the Russell is trying to hold this order block here. So they're probably taking money out of your major caps and put it into the Russell. That's why it's kind of balanced right now. That's a couple of things that I noticed with this. Is this going to be strong enough to make this a pivot point? Maybe, but until then, this is our trend line. And then the last one is the dollar. So we're dropping. The dollar is coming out of its range. I did mark this date, November 12th, as a maybe. Do we actually come down to this level, or even come back to this order block by the time that November 12th comes? Ironically, I do think it's going to be somewhere around here, and that's a little after the election. So we're going to see exactly how this works out. So that's it. Let's go ahead and recap. What do we do here, people? It's very simple. I am trying to keep it as easy as possible for everyone that is here. I want you to be able to take your trades in the most structural, sound way. So we do open and range breakout. How does that work? We take the first 15 minutes of the market open, we box it out, and we look for a bullish above or bearish below. below. So below. So a bearish below. But the whole thing is you got to get confirmation. So we confirm with our 5-minute candle and look for it to play either to the upside or the downside. The other thing that we do is the 45-minute. I am going to spend this time to kind of recap what I like out of the 45-minute using the market dominance, just to kind of point out on opportunities that did present itself on yesterday. So without further ado, let's go ahead and look what I mean. So we only play two different types of style trades: opening range breakouts, my proprietary market dominance indicator. So we could see right here, the first thing that happened yesterday on Wednesday. Right here, right? So we had a massive move down, and then by the time 9:45 came in, we kind of tweezed the bottom, and the first thing it did, it liquidated all those bears that stepped in. Market dominance anticipated it was going to be a green candle. It did. Then after that, this massive green candle was so much that it was 133 points to that upside. So what did market dominance say? I anticipate there's going to be a red candle. That was red. Then this was actually quite dominant as well. Green candle, red candle. So for about 2 hours, pushing 3 hours, this was completely 100% on the success rate. Now, again, how we got to do this, we do look for a trend on the 5-minute, so we don't just jump into a trade. So to kind of point out what I mean by that, we're going to go ahead and mark out a couple things. I'm going to turn that off. We're going to mark out 9:45. That'll be this one, this one, this one, and this one. And it was green, red, as you see. We can keep that in mind. So coming back to the 5-minute chart, coming back to yesterday and looking at it, what I am anticipating is that the tea leaves tell it all about itself, right? It basically says that at 9:45, it said there is a possibility we're going to have a green candle, and you could see, get rid of this, boom. The first thing that the 5-minute did, it failed to really make any lower lows. And since then, it was a nice little continuation. Safer entry, right here. Riskier entry, right at the close. Keeping your stop loss at structure, it's probably going to be something that looks like that. And then let's just say you did a 1.5 ratio off of 5 minutes. That was about 92 ticks, risking about 61 ticks. And then it did continue. If you trailed it properly, good to go. All right, but let's just say you missed that one. All right, so now we got this one. This ended at 10:30. At 10:30, it was starting to trend down. Now this one was a little bit trickier because it kind of flirted with a little bit of a downtrend. So if you was super scalping, it probably was going to be a little uncomfortable. But if you actually followed the rules for what it is, this was trending to the downside when it was all said and done. So now, as this thing is actually trending itself down and continuing its way down, remember what I said about our rules. There is no such thing as a lower low unless there's a lower high. So when we made this lower low, we adjust this trend line. Bang, bang. That is the trend that we was on. So if we actually follow the rules, if you were doing an aggressive entry, that would be here. What about market structure? 42 ticks of a stop loss. And if you did a 1.5 ratio, again, boom, that would have been a really successful trade. And we can go on, so on and so on. Like this one is another example of one, but this one kind of did a little bit of manipulation, a little bit of a sweep. So now this would have been your trend at the close. Safer entry would have been here at the close. But if you were being aggressive, you would have had a deeper drawdown, because again, this was supposed to be playing it as a green. You catch it on this candle itself. Guess what ends up happening? They pull you back first before it continued. Don't suggest it, but with great risk comes great reward. This was about 145 ticks. All right, and then the last one, this one was a red candle. So this one had another sweep as well. So you had a nice little trend that happened before, right here, and then they swept it. That's our new trend when they made this lower low. So depending on where your entry is, your probably was going to go ahead and take about 50 to 100 ticks again. All right, so that said, it was very cool to kind of see how market dominance did its thing, and we are looking for more success very similar to that because our 45-minute really reigned supreme yesterday. So that said, let's go ahead and mark off some levels. So far, I think the market is trying to find itself, right? It is having a very, very, very hard time trying to discern what is it trying to do. Now, if you remember last time, I did box out this area here, roughly about from here to about here, and I was looking for this to be a potential rejection zone. What annoyed the crap out of me, we almost came out of this order block, and I did have some bullish positions, but I did cut them quick so I can get right quicker. That's how the game goes. All right, so we can see this is a nice little rejection, nice little test down here. They're probably testing this order block right here, and then now we're getting ourselves a little bit of reversal. Depending on how much steam we gain, this thing could probably come back a little bit lower into this wick, or maybe even come back into my super trend, which brings us to 2105. That is probably what we're looking for. I don't know. I would say that'll be very tricky to get that to that 2105, because you could kind of see very choppy here. You got some greens, you got some reds, you got all types of stuff called this jambalaya rice order block. I think this is the start of it and this is the end of it. So this is probably what's going to try to hold, especially when we had 1, 2, 3, 4 candles that kind of followed this track here. And that was the retest here. So maybe we come back to this area, probably about the ballpark of 2250, 2300, somewhere around there, and see if we can get ourselves a bounce. But again, we got to be very patient when it comes down to the market and see where it goes. All right, that said, let's go ahead and check out some of my lists. Actually, you know what? I don't want to do this list yet. Let's go to yesterday before this thing resets, which I have less than a minute. So we got Google with 49 million in volume. Yeesh. That was kind of deep yesterday. 11 for CSX. Where was Keurig? Keurig was second with 42 million in volume. So let's go with Google and Keurig. Let's go with Google. Let's see what Google got for us. Oh yeah, this was a little bit of earnings. People were probably taking their profits off the table when it was all said and done. And then now we got pre-market where it looks like they're trying to come back down a little bit deeper. I would not be surprised that the volume picks up here for those that was like, hey, I'm just taking my profit because we played this whole entire gap that was here. And maybe some people that's like, oh, Google's down here. There's no way I'm going to let this thing get under 175. I think it's 200. So I think there's going to be some type of play that's going to happen here. So depending on how, let's see, yeah. Depending on how the market actually wants to respond to this, just be cognizant. Maybe find some support inside of this gap and not fill all of it, depending on how much buyers is there. And then we got Keurig, Dr. Pepper. I kind of sat back waiting to see if this actually finished, and I think they're going to hold this order block, right? Nice little bounce, nice little inside bar right here. We did break a major trend. I think there's going to be a gap fill along the way. We want to see how that works. I may consider looking at a position here as we try to get to this target and try to break through it. All right, there goes the news. Here comes the market. Let's go. Let's see what's going on with NQ so far. Put this on the 15-minute. Like I said, we box out the first 15 minutes. Minimize that. All right. So my goal here, just to kind of like put this into full perspective. Oh man, it's just like super bright in my office today. Actually, let me turn all this off. Oh no, that's just terrible. Just terrible. All right, I think it's probably the sunlight. We're getting a whole lot of sun rays coming on over here. Let's see, angle this a bit. I don't know. I feel like I'm getting some solar flare across the top. But anyways, moving on. I would say generally speaking, how this is looking so far, it looks like it wants to stay a little bit more bearish. So how do we mark this off? Let's go ahead and look at the chart a little bit deeper. What we do, we are anticipating that somewhere after this first 15 minutes is closed, assuming that this is it. Oh, I don't know what I tried to do. Come on, get back. We're going to look for this to be bullish right here. And then assuming that this is the end of this down move, it will be bearish below here. We'll adjust accordingly as the candle continue to form. The 15-minute has a depth cross that started back here at the after hour session, and I did have that as, wow, I didn't think that would actually happen, but because this is a daily order block rejection, we just drifted down. I think they're trying to find out how low would they let it go. We do have a low of 287 here. I do think that they could come back to my trend line. Oh, that they might do it right now, around that 216 level because of what I saw here on this daily. Let me try to tweak that line a little bit and make it a little bit more angled and catch all my deviations here. That's one. Actually, we'll keep this one, and that's two. So I think anything in this wide area zone is probably what they're aiming for and looking for. All right, let's see. AMAT's getting beat up. Celsius getting beat up. Ooh, my pizza is doing a little bit better because it was getting its butt whooped a little bit. And Tesla must be pulling back. So let's go look at pizza. Okay, it's still inside of its little wedge here. As y'all notice, a whole lot of chicken scratch here. But again, I like to make sure I look at all my levels and all my potential. This thing does have earnings on November 7th, so I think there is some consolidation prior to the earnings. And I am going to hold firm in my position and see what happens. Let's just see what happens. If it breaks above this level, I may consider getting another position maybe. But we'll see what happens there. And then we were talking about Tesla. So I was looking at Tesla. So this one is Tesla. Nice little pullback coming off that earnings run. If this fair value gap holds right here at this level, make this general, we're probably going to get ourselves a nice little bounce to that upside and try to retest until we get to that 275. I do think there is some buyers that wants to see Tesla touch 275 before they actually start taking their profits. So I will not be surprised if they start liquidating some of the bears that stepped in. Yes, missed revenue, meet on EPS, but this only tells me that they did more with less. Unfortunately, AMD, which is hilarious, missed the EPS, but they had more revenue, and you can kind of see this is less than 1%. Like, ready? This is what we're doing? All right. Anyways, moving on. So I have this one, which is Tesla, which is leverage one-ish. It's more income strategy. I kind of have this position. Nice rejection of the 50 EMA, but it's like 1, 2, 3, and then the distance between this one's rejection of the 50 EMA and this one's rejection of the 50 EMA is shorter. So I'm thinking a potential breakout would be very great for Tesla right here. So that's what I'm kind of looking at. All right, let's go back over to NQ. Let's see what's going on over there. 15 minutes. Let's adjust our line. Let's make it accurate. All right, our low for the day is 2252.75 on this 50-minute candle. And let's clean this up just in case. The high is 203.69.25. Looking good. Looking good. All right, let's go ahead and look at some cues. So yesterday I talked about it. I was like, there's a strong possibility we could get to that 500 level, and we did. We got up into that 500. I think we stopped right at 5 and 22 cents, and I thought it was going to take more of that high, but the market was like, nah, no more. Let's slow this down. And you can kind of see this is very choppy, just like this oscillator is very choppy. If we go over to the weekly, it's still kind of bullish, but this 4 hour looks annoying, especially when it's trying to push to the downside. And then it made this kind of like indecisive of how they want to handle the daily. So very interesting spot. If I was going to play this to the downside, I'll probably aim for the 484 or maybe 488 is probably a little bit better. And then we are probably going to aim for the 500 again on the bullish side. So let's go ahead and get that prepared. So we're talking about 500. Eef. That'd be crazy. Let me just save the order. I really think I'm gonna go 497. That's probably the one that's gonna be it. And then on the bearish side, 484. Yeah, that looks good. Save that. Save that. All right, that looks good. I got everything set up. Let's go ahead and check out AMAT, because this one I was considering holding on to this bad boy until everything. Now this one was a little bit of a gamble. Was getting those light color pink area here. I was looking for it to kind of give that continuation. It's kind of starting to uncross that MACD and the stochastic. It's already at the lower register, so they could turn this completely over from something that looked like this to this to this to something that goes from this to this to this, right? So I'm going to see what happens with this for the most part, but by end of the day, I may have to make a conscious decision on that position. All right, boom, 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 boom. Let's go back over to NQ, and then we'll probably do some red list, green list stuff. Let's see. So the first 15 minutes still holding. It seems like we're building that base, and it's looking very, very solid. Maybe we could get some nice little continuation to that upside. We'll see. One that's annoying the crap out of me is Celsius, and I was reading some articles about this one, and the articles was saying something along the lines of, they got a lot of competition, the space is so crowded, and so forth and so forth, right? And I get it, right? Especially when you're talking about, you know, Red Bull owns the space, and this is one of the energy drinks. If God forbid something crazy happens with their deal with, was it Pepsi or Coca-Cola? I think it's Pepsi, or whatever their deal that they have with the distributor. If that goes south, this thing is going to be one of the first things to really, really suffer. And you can see it's flirting with that $30 level, and it looks like they're trying to push it back up. But again, it's still kind of bearish, right? We got these long wicks on the daily, and it's like real, real rough. So this one, I actually bought a lot of time on it, so I'm okay. But generally speaking, it's not in the best of situation trying to stay bullish. So we'll see how that goes, and we will come back to it. Anyway, back to NQ, and then we'll do red list, like you say. We'll do red list, but I haven't done it yet. Here is the 15 minute. They're still making some strides to that downside. We'll see how that holds. Let me see. Are we at a key level? Let me go look at my other chart. Try not to confuse y'all, so I have a whole bunch of different ideas. Yeah, I think we could really make it down to 2225. I think that's the real number. The 250 has already been kind of tested, right, with the 252 we just did. So if we actually go for that, probably get ourselves a bounce between 200 and 225. That's what I'm thinking. But we'll see. We'll see. We gotta break this level before that happens. All right, let's go ahead and check out the red list. Yep, my AMAT second day getting his butt whipped. Let's see, biggest losers. Costco's getting butt whipped as well. So let's go over and look at Costco. What's going on over there? Like I said, I was really thinking Costco can make it to 1,000, but we're starting to cross over the zero on the MACD. That's not a good sign, especially this looks like an M pattern. Maybe they come back for this fair value gap because they did not really address this gap all the way through. Yeah, there's this little smidge that's there, so that could be the reason that we gap down. They're chasing that, but we'll see what happens there. Dell is giving away quite a bit. Again, it tends to run for dividends, but it looks like it's not doing that for a long period of time. Let's go with some winners. Roblox. Oh, haven't seen this name in a while. Let's see. Strong move on the weekly. Weekly bullish. Daily is starting to get into that bullish state. Oh yeah, this is gonna be on my red list for real. Yeah, I might have to play some Roblox. If I could get a nice little reset on the oscillator down to maybe, I don't know, 47, I may consider to take this on the upside. So Roblox is in the radar. And then one more, Royal Caribbean. Did they have a reverse split? I don't remember it being so high. Oh. Whoa. Whoa. Royal Caribbean from October. That was that reset in August 5th. I haven't looked at Royal Caribbean long enough. Oh my God, this thing is gone. I remember when I was actually looking at Royal Caribbean somewhere in the middle of 2023. They got probably got caught in this pullback in October, but never looked back. Oh, look at that. That's a beast. This thing is gone. Let me see this EPS. Solid EPS. Yeah, driven by the earnings. If you don't understand what happened here, let's go all the way back a little bit. This is one of those pandemic disasters, right? Everything was selling off. This thing was worth $28 there. And I said cruise lines should recover. I would love to see what Carnival looks like right now. But yeah, so this one around August 2022, they had one more spike and they started turning around they started getting green, but they started turning a profit of positive EPS around that time. More positive EPS, and then continuation. Declared dividends back. That looks like the driver of this most recent. That's probably what it is. And then boom. So yeah, very very interesting spot for Royal Caribbean. I gotta check. Oh, it's been on my red list though. Oh, I think I had a blockage of the pain and suffering that I experienced going into September, and I was like, oh, this thing keeps on dropping. Let me get out of here. All right. Anyways, that's that. CCL. Before we go back over to NQ, we got like a minute left. Let's see. Oh yeah, yes it did. CCL. Look at you. It's not as much as Royal Caribbean. Royal Caribbean is like a better company, but you can see. Looks like they're starting to get their act together here. Positive EPS started here. A little bit negative, less negative. And this is actually, this might be the laggard. If they can consistently give this, but of course, this is the summer. This one's going to be a little weaker because of seasonality. Everybody cruises mostly around spring. Spring doesn't report until summer. So this could be one of those things, actually. CCL, welcome back to my red list. We're going to see if we can find some lightning in the bottle action from you. Yeah, they got the pandemic lows and everything. I gave up on cruise lines when that happened. Anyways, moving on. NQ. Let's look at this. 15 minutes is almost done. We got ourselves less than a minute. And it has not made a new lower low, nor did it make a higher high from the levels that we marked off. So this may be our levels. We will see. Now this is the point that I was explaining to y'all. So first 15 minutes, we box it out. Now we're gonna go to stage 2. Stage 2 is we're looking for 5-minute candle close above or below. In this case, it might be below that line. And if it gives us that, we're gonna play it towards that direction. So let's see if we can get that breakout. All right, we got about 10 seconds here. Kind of trendy wedgie right here on this 5. All right, new 5-minute candles in. Now we did get a market dominance alert right there, anticipating a reversal. So if this 5 minutes starts to trend on us, we will take that. But I am going to wait. Oh, you're not going to. And this is the thing that sucks about this so much, is that yes, you may want to just go ahead and take the momentum and just play it to the downside, but the safer thing to do, folks, is for you to just wait for the close below. So we're going to wait for that close below. Let me get my puts ready. All right, I got that ready. Let's get another aspect. Oh, I got to my 225 line and bounce. That's that psychological level. Let's get it. Peach is still pushing up. Oh yeah. Let me see if I can find myself a nice little QQQ spot to feel comfortable with. I think I'll go with no. I ain't gonna go with fun. Let's go with fun. Like I said, 484. 484. Today, 44. Oh, I got my verticals on. That's why I'm like, wait, what's going on here? 44. Actually, you know what? I haven't practiced it enough. I'll do it. I was going to do a put vertical instead of a straight, but I think we'll go straight. I haven't practiced it enough. The ideology is that this thing is just going to continue down, go to my next psychological level, somewhere around that 200 level, and I am looking for something to give me a little bit of confirmation of that. I was a little bit here, but I want that 5-minute close first. I want that confirmation that we will not do anything crazy. See that nice pullbacks that's happening. Do not chase the cat. It will claw back. I'm telling you this right now. Do not chase it. Wait for your setup. Now this could be a nice little prelude for our 45-minute reversal. So I'm going to be very vigilant on this one. Ooh, the bears are out of hibernation. They are slamming this thing. That's my trend line. That's the trend line that I was explaining to y'all. On the daily, we've bounced off this area and then we made a very super long wick here. And if we break through this with some strength, this thing may never come back. What I'm thinking is that this trend line is a prelude to what is to come for the rest of the day. If this trend line does break and hold, we might have ourselves a lot of fun to this downside. Let's come up to the 15 minute to kind of point out what I mean. The 15 minutes already on a bearish state in itself, and we got this whole entire downside. And if we're taking common levels, we may get a nice little retracement up until 10 o'clock and then continuation to the downside. That's what I'm thinking. But still sticking with our rules. Waiting for this candle to close. Oh my God, this is about 54 points. Basically 200 ticks. But anyways, we are not worrying about that. We're going to follow our rules. There's my 200 level. Ooh, boy. This thing is dumping.
Did you take any trade?
I can't. I cannot break the rules. A nice retracement that would have been great was roughly around 947. Another one was when everything started at 946. So it's like each one of these 1 minute candles is doing something very aggressive to this downside. We got 20 seconds. We're gonna wait for the pullback. Probably some profit taking is gonna play a part here, and then we'll get the retracement and continuation, which I think is gonna happen because this is the break of that trend line. Massive 5-minute candle. Massive. I'm gonna have to go with a different price contract because this thing has went completely bananas. So it's a little juiced. Alright, so that's my market dominance. We hit the bottom target. This could be completely continuation. I am about to take a position for 83. 83. And wait for the reset. Alright, that was real solid. But I don't think they got enough to bring it all the way back. Like I said, this trend line is a key level that I've been targeting. There's that. Price action Nyrene. Oh, and boom. Let's take that. Mm, looks like they're pulling it back up a bit. Alright, boom. Let's go ahead. Let's get that going. There we go. Alright. I paid 61. This is not holding and it's being difficult. Looks like they're building a base here. Negative 10 ticks. I gotta get out of here. Come on, give me those lows, cause we broke the trend line. Come on, baby. Don't fail me now. Can these buyers go to sleep? Oh wow, they are buying the crap out of the dip. We broke the trend line. Come on, baby. Come on. Alright, gotta take this 10 tick loss here and just call it a day here.
I got 700 ticks on the board.
I know, but I was at the top. That was the whole thing, and it was breaking some of my rules in itself.
Should I hold? I feel like it's gonna give a leg lower.
I think it's gonna give a leg lower. That's the funny thing about it. Oh, you jerks! Don't you dare do it now. It keeps slamming it. Then let the bottom go if you're gonna keep slamming it. Look at these top wicks. Come on now. Oh. What level is that? 152. That's why. Alright, instead of being what I had like 10. Yeah, I was like 10% profit. They may chop this all the way back up instead of just letting this thing fall through the 152. But they kept on slamming it. When I say slamming it, slamming it. Let me see how much I'm down on this. This is about 5%. You really are not going to just break down this trend line. It went back to bullish in some of my lower time frames, which is not cute. They're trying to take out the top of the previous 5-minute candle. Oh, the buyers are really that strong here. Alright. Just being patient. Painfully patient, because that should have gave us a nice little extension, and they're building this base here. I get it, we're bullish, but that was a very key trend line, and I kind of pointed out on that daily, like, we have done this so many times. I was looking for it to test here, and we'll see. We will see, because this thing is toying with it. Yeah, that's turning back to bullish again. Come on. Grab the buy side liquidity. did not come all the way over here just to make a cheaper price to buy up the dip. Or did you? That's how the market talks. I'm just joking. Alright, alright. That was a nice little slam.
Trying to put a Morningstar.
It is. It is. And that's the part that's getting to the annoyance part. Because that 5 minutes should be exhausted of its upside because we broke the trend line, and I'm trying to be patient to the fact that even though we did break, this gave 10%, right? But I think there's so much more inside of this than that. And oh my god, the 15-second starter, a little bit bullish too. It's been difficult. Oh, that was a lot of buy side liquidity they just took out there. Alright, quick reset. Or are you gonna just keep dumping? Because it should have took like
Hey, just
a couple
rejected
$100
off of
off
my
of
8 small moving average. That's it. On the 1 minute, as long as it doesn't do the evening stuff, we good.
you got a minute and 24 seconds. I need a reset. I need a reset.
That was it.
I know, but I wasn't looking at that time frame. The 1 minute is starting to curl over, and I think that probably was the play. Need a breather without breaking any level of resistance. Oh, they just took out those buy side liquidity. All right, now give me that reset. Give me that reset. I'm still in my option contracts, but I'm looking for something on the futures end. All right, good, and then reject. All right, good. Got it to that 150.25. All right, give me good price action. Now don't range this. Do not range this. Alright, let's dump now. Give 5 minute candle. Let's dump now. Let's dump now. There we go. There we go. There we go. Come on. Don't. No buying up dips. No buying up dips. Come on. Get under there. Get under there. Get under there. Come on. I'm at full leverage now. Come on. Just give me one more leg. Come on. One more leg. Come on, baby. You got it. You got it. There's too many times it keeps on like piggyback. It's trying to do like these.
79 is my next up. I'm at 20,079.25 is my next target.
Okay. I think we got enough momentum to get to 20,000.
20,000 will be nice too.
Come on, hit it. Hit them. Hit them bulls. That will bring us down to this 2105. That's the first level. I want to kind of get a little bit of a sense on what they would do there. There we go. There we go. Come on. Come on, 5 minute. Let it sing. Because that's what's bringing the 5 minute down. And then here's our 15 minute to kind of bring it into full perspective. Oh, don't you dare. Don't you dare do that. We're going to make lower lows and only lower lows. Here's our 15 minute. 15 minutes, the party just started. And then let's come over to the 1 hour. This is the dance I want to see. They try to get the bulls in here, and the bears just said no, no mas. And then we get this 1 hour, just keep on doing this dance all the way down. Come on. Don't you dare. Hit them. They drifting higher. Stop drifting higher. Come on, baby. Let the bottom out. Let the bottom out. Come on. There we go. Come on. The buyers, why are y'all buying? Go to sleep. Come on. I'm looking for this 1 hour to just hold and sang to this downside.
Oh, we got a new whole hour.
That's what the new whole hour is. And that oh, don't you dare do it. Don't you dare. We get 1 more hour of this downside. Stochastic cross down, all of that. Come on. Come on, brokers. Let all those sell. Oh, this guy. I just lost $35 on that one. All right, I think they're gonna try to do something a little quonky and janky, trying to get ourselves another push up in this. Yes, it is, but I wanted a nice break of this trend line. So the 5 minute has confirmed we broke this trend. 15 minute has confirmed we broke this trend. I don't know about the 45 minute. I feel like they could try to erase this whole entire 45 minute, keep playing around. That's the only thing that's being annoying right now. The 45 minute is in the bearish state, and the 1 hour is in the bearish state, so it can come back down. But for the position that I had on the future side, I had to let that bad boy go. Come on. If we could get the 45 minute to give maybe 1 to 2 more of these red, indicators or fingers on the MACD, probably could get some real dancing to the downside. That's the 15-second reset. Here's a 1 minute reset. I won't be surprised that we're putting in bullish divergences along the way here. I'm just hoping that those bullish divergences are bear traps. Now get hit again. I keep putting these top wicks. These top wicks got to give up. All right, so if you haven't been on my floor before, I usually shut this down around 10:15. As you notice, we're still kind of analyzing this trade and we're still in it. Looking for this break below and just continuation of this break below and not a return when it's all said and done. So if you are in this trade, by all means, you want to go ahead and lock in some profits. That's okay too. But I would say, generally speaking, this thing does look like they're trying to make this thing make lower lows. So risk tolerance, risk appetite, those things are what's important here. So depending on what you're comfortable with is what I would suggest that you make your decision as I start to shut this down around 10:15. So it looks like they're coming back to test some fair value gaps up here. I think probably a rejection around 180 is what's going to be in tow, and if it gets through that, then I may get out of my trades in
I
itself.
would, because it's a morning star.
Mm,
201 on the 5 minute.
no,
No.
that's not so morning. The first one was more Morningstar like. This one is it's okay. On the 1 minute though, the 1 minute is just drifting up. So I think it's gonna get to a point where it's just like, all right, we're bumping our head against the wall, and then now we're just gonna go ahead and let it go. So I think this is that number. We'll see if that it is, and just patiently wait. 15-second went bullish. Being a jerk.
That's so close.
Come on. We're generally bearish, and this 45 minute has some conversations to have with the downside. And in this 1 hour, already closed, and you already did that. Let's get one more leg on the 1 hour. So I'm thinking 11 o'clock will be lower than where we are right now. And that's what I'm thinking.
On the daily, we might recheck off from that 21.
Okay.
It's at 128, 150.
It just looks like we're building more and more of a bear flag because it's not like we're really taking off. The only thing that's a little bit of concern is that we're kind of rounding that bottom. If we can't break below 2150 again, this might be a done case. There we go. We got a little bit of an extension here. I'm gonna wait for a reset of my oscillators. I just don't want a green 1 hour candle. That's all I don't want.
Possibly in pattern
Possibly.
on the 1 minute.
Mm-hmm. All right, we're back in the bearish state. So now let's get ourselves a nice little reset. It might not give it to me. Might not give me that reset. I think they're just gonna dump this thing. I think all the bulls that just stepped in, they're uncomfortable and they're probably gonna go ahead and chuck the deuces. I'm looking for a level of a bounce, maybe around that 146 level, unless they're strong enough to hold it. But I really think we're gonna get to 146 before that. Slammed again. Slammed again. They want 146. They want 146. Let them have 146, bulls. There we go. Oh, that happened sound fast. Okay. Oh, it didn't give me one. It hit the brakes before it got to 146. This thing's gonna dump now. I think it's. This market's so disrespectful. I thought it hit 146. I got out my trade too damn fast. Oh, that was jerkish. Props market.
It's about to
Props.
hit 127.
Yeah, I think we're gonna fly right through 127. They're looking for 20,000. For us to be this low, it almost makes no sense unless they take out 20,000 and at least test to see what buyers are there. but 2105 will be tough before it's all said and done. I'm probably gonna hold on to this to see if we can get to 20,000 until I'm uncomfortable. I like what the 1 hour is doing so far. I'm looking for that 1 hour to really sink to that downside and continue even further. But we'll see. We'll only take what the market gives us. Let's see. I paid 60.
This area is gonna be hard to break. One, my daily 21 on NQ, daily 21 at 127.25. I need a blast past it. I'll be back soon.
Oh, this thing is about to do another drop. This thing is about to do another drop.
Your contract or your contract.
Come on. They're hit. It's almost like all we spent like a couple of months on this. They buy the dip, buy the dip, buy the dip, buy the dip, and now it looks like they're like, oh, let's just go ahead and buy the sell. I'm gonna buy the pops. I'm gonna sell the pops. Sell the pops. All right, so I am going to 60, 61, 60, 61. I should be protecting my 20%. I am fearful that they're sweeping right now. That if I put my 20% stop, that they're gonna just sweep it and take it. They're looking for it. And that's the only thing that sucks. So I may go with break even. I think I'm gonna go break even. If they come all the way back to my break even, they deserve it. And that's what I'm gonna go with. Mm. They might get it. Mm. Yeah, they got it. Now the whole thing was I wanted to see a full red candle here. Could I have taken the 20% and just walked away? Absolutely. But I knew that there was a strong possibility that this was going to be very risky in itself. So it's rather to live to fight another day than to kind of force this. And then I probably would have lost a little bit more than that. But that said, we're going to go ahead and call it a day here. Great trade. If you were in this trade, congratulations. And we'll tap in again next week. Don't forget Saturday mindset, and I will